What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the good, the bad, and the stupid. It's Friday the 13th of November. It's Friday the 13th. Ooh, are you scared? That was meant to be a scary noise, sounding more like a wolf, but I don't think it's full moon. I don't know if werewolves come out on Friday the 13th. Is it just killers with big blades? Is it murderers? Jack, the Yorkshire Ripper's dead. I think he died. I don't know. That would have been fucking good if he died today, but he didn't. He died yesterday, I think. But he's dead nonetheless. Ding dong, ding dong, the Ripper's dead. Everyone's happy about that, and a lot of people are fucking glad to see the back of him. 100%. What I was going to say, yeah. So I watched Friday the 13th, and I watched Halloween the other week as well, in the spirit of Halloween. So I'm gonna have to watch another horror film tonight just to get into the mood. I've got fuck all else to do, so can't go out, can we? Or either that, or I'll go out on go out, scare people jumping out of the bushes. I think people now are too many people have been learning karate for that now. I'll probably get a kick in the nuts. Not that I've ever done that or ever would. I jump out on my friends. I should say that I jumped out on my friend the other day or the other week, and as he was going into his house, it was dark, and I ran in up behind him and fucking shoved him into his house like I was breaking in. He didn't defend himself very well, to be honest. I think he fucking should have done a little bit more. I'd have had him. I'd have fucking burgled his house, tied him up. I'd have had all his money, and he didn't do fuck all. He didn't put up a fight or anything. It's a good job it was me, wasn't it? Anyway, that was a bit of fun. Blew my neck. Big gem rose. The gem. Rose gem. That's what I meant to say. The rose gem, which is a gem that's only been mined 2017 in Russia. A little tiny speck of a gem, like a diamond, sits on your finger. £20 million it's sold for. 20 million. Fucking hell. I mean, like, really? I tell you what, these guys he weighs 14.83 carats. Is that like, can you measure that with a bag of carrots, do you? Is that how they work that out? I don't know, but it's a good fucking good way of making a living if you know what you're doing. But this, I wouldn't fucking know. I wouldn't know a zirconia from a diamond, unfortunately. You got to fucking know your stuff, because also there's a lot of people ripping people off in that game as well. There was something I talked about the other week about a guy who was making diamonds out of the air. He was sucking carbon out of the air and making diamonds out of it. That's got to be the best fucking thing in the world. That's free money printing. Surely somebody's going to fucking knock him off and fucking nick his idea. That's just too good. That's like one of the best ideas I've ever heard. So yeah, £20 million, good. I always like fucking money. I love when money's made out of nothing. I mean, that's a diamond, but I just love it when somebody makes money out of fucking something that is just a random thing. Things at auction. I like Elvis's hair the other day. Elvis's hair going for £6,000, stuff like that. It's fucking brilliant. I mean, do they do DNA? Do they do a DNA test on it, or what? Can I just take a bit of black hair? I'll say it's Elvis's hair, and it would be an Elvis impersonator's hair. I'll just go, and then like, is that like a loophole? If I ever got caught or nicked, I wouldn't get done for fraud, because I go, what's Elvis's hair? I mean, as good as is Elvis's impersonator's hair. It's just like. So you could probably get away with that, I think. But if they don't do a DNA test on it, then it's fucking Elvis's hair. Who's ever's hair you're putting it in it? Unless it's fucking afro hair, and then they're going to smell a rat. Or blonde hair, of course. Anyway, this guy, he's just got 5 years. This guy's fucking come a cropper. And it's a shame, but he was a heavy smoker, and he was in hospital. And he wanted a fag, and he kept asking him if he could have a fag, and they kept saying, no, you can't light a fag, it's dangerous in hospital, whatever. And he lit a cigarette while wearing an oxygen mask. In the bed, when nobody was around, he took his mask off and lit a fag and blew the ward up. The whole fucking ward's blown up. But like nobody got. A couple of doctors got like inhalation, whatever, inhalation. Problems or whatever else, but nobody actually died or got properly injured, but it caused 50 grand of damage and he got 5 years jail for it. What a pisser. All for that fucking one cigarette. I I've known people do that as well, sneak cigarettes into the hospital, and they go, at least they fucking scurry off to the toilet to do it. They don't do it while they're in the bed. That's fucking really taking the piss, isn't it? But anyway, what a shame. Yeah, when you got a fag, some people, they'll do anything to have the fucking cigarette, don't they? That's how much they enjoy it. I know my mum's the same. Loves the fags. Anyway, a spare bed for an imaginary friend and a room. What's this one? A spare bed for an imaginary friend and a room to store 200 butterflies for a wedding are among the bizarre requests made by Travelodge guests. Others include a bag of soil from Liverpool's Anfield Stadium and a face mask for a snoring husband. That's fucking standard. A face mask for a snoring husband. Snoring twat, she would say, I imagine. We just tie something fucking, a face mask, just tie a bit of fucking clothing around his face. Or just suffocate him. Put a pillowcase over his head. But yeah, that's a fucking nightmare, that is. If you're in a partner and they snore and you're a light sleeper, that's got to be the worst, isn't it? Couldn't fucking handle that. That's not on. I don't snore 100%, and I won't fucking put up with somebody else snoring either. In fact, I can't put up with somebody else snoring. I've slept in the rooms with people and they're snoring, and it's at my expense because I cannot get to sleep. So I've come close to fucking strangling people. I know that. I'll be the ripper, the snorer ripper. Anyway, Sir Paul McCartney wished he could be more like Bob Dylan because... Sir Paul McCartney, I'm not calling anybody fucking sir, it's ridiculous. Wishes he could be more like Bob Dylan because he's an American because the American singer doesn't give a shit. And then he says he wishes a bit more like him, and then he gives like a really shit review of him. He says he's legendary and doesn't give a shit. I'm not like that. And then he said he writes songs. His appraisal of him was he writes songs really well. I love his singing. That's a bit. It's a good. Of course, I love Bob Dylan. He's one of my fucking favourites. But he writes songs really well. I love his singing. That's like somebody of a 6-year-old saying. Sir Paul McCartney. You don't think you've earned that Sir on the back of fucking giving reviews like that of people? Give us a bit more in depth about what you think of him, for God's sake. He's up. You're one of the legends like him, and we like to know what people think of each other up in those higher echelons of the fucking, quality songwriters. We don't want to just hear you go, he writes songs really, really well, and what was the other thing? I love his singing. I love it a lot. So anyway, that's what Paul McCartney thinks. And Bob Dylan, you can't beat him, and his new album is fucking amazing. So you should check it out if you haven't. What was the other thing? Locals are looking on the hunt for the graffiti artist. They're calling Crapsy after Banksy because his stuff's shit. The subpar scribbler. That's what they should call him. That's got a good fucking phrase. The subpar scribbler writes scorn on signs. And they don't care about... so that's obviously his name, Scorn. And they're calling him Crapsy. So Scorn, if you're out there, people aren't digging it, you want to up your artworks, make them a little bit more fucking intelligent. Don't just write Scorn and everything. You are going to get lynched. Especially if you do it on somebody's front door. Was this one a pervy plumber? A pervy plumber was caught. You're going to be... I think this one's worse than writing Scorn on people's side of their houses. A pervy plumber was caught on camera sniffing a customer's knickers. What a fucking nightmare. Do people have the camera set up in the house? I have to remember that next time around people's houses. Not that I do anything untoward, but it's always nice to know. You might do something that is embarrassing, that you didn't want to get caught on camera. The horrified woman called the police, who arrested him, but he's not been charged with anything because he didn't steal anything. Is that illegal? It's not really illegal, is it? You can't really arrest him for that, can you? It's embarrassing though. I think it's good enough. That's enough. Just fucking put him on the police knocking at the door going, we've got reports of you sniffing women's underwear. Imagine if he's married as well. I can't believe it's not an offence, she said. Well, I don't think anybody's probably come up against that too many times, have they? Putting that one through the House of Lords and everything. We need to discuss the knicker sniffing law. I don't think that's going to... it's going to take a while to get that one through. Anyway, but she said he was a plumber. He was rummaging through her drawers and she felt sick to her stomach when she saw. Well, there you go. If you're a plumber and you're an electrician or anything and you're left in somebody's house alone, believe me, people now, they're onto that one and they want to know that you're not fucking going around nicking stuff. I'd be scared to watch the video if I fucking was filming somebody. I would be sure that they've done something and I'd be scared to watch it. I'd have to watch him through. That'd be worse than Friday the fucking 13th, watching a horror film, watching somebody doing things untoward after you've just been speaking and it's all been nice and everything, and all of a sudden you're seeing them doing something really dark and like pervy like that. There was another guy a while ago, wasn't he, wanking in somebody's house, doing the same, going through the wife's knicker drawer. That was of his mates' wives. Jesus, keep it to if you. I'd keep it to yourself if I was you. Don't do anything like that unless you're in your own house. Not unless you're being paid to be there, or you're paying to be there. Anyway, last one I'm going to do. Friday feeling. I'm going to finish up early today. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you finish early and get off and smoke your spliffs, do your drugs, do your drink, have a party. In the house, of course. You can't go to the pub and do it. No clubs. There's some fucking good things I've saw popping up on people, these live concerts and everything they're doing from places. And they're doing like Brixton concerts in Brixton, in the Brixton Academy. You've got to get some way of getting the musicians making money. I think Liam Gallagher's doing something down on the Thames as well, isn't he? So good. Got to get the entertainment somewhere. I can't handle or half the TV. It's on the TV. So half the time I find things on the internet to watch. Like you finding me, unless you're watching, unless you found me on the podcast, and then you're listening to me, of course, with your sexy ears. Right, last one. What am I going to do? I'm looking for something now. I'm killing time trying to find something to talk about. That's it. Women think cash brings them health and makes them a lot happier, but men reckons having money gives them the status, security and freedom. Well, the men's got the security and the freedom until the woman decides that she wants to take half when they split up because he's been knicker sniffing in somebody else's house, some plumber bloke. His wife decides to take half his money. She's off being healthy and happy with his money while he's no longer feeling security and free. Well, he's free. He's on his fucking own. But not by choice, unfortunately. So that becomes a prison of his own mind and his own depression, then of his own fucking a situation of his own making. Anyway, one woman who definitely thought cash brought her health and happiness was the woman who stole £1 million from the firm that she worked at, stating it was helping her with her depression. She was going off on holidays and buying cars and having a fucking whale of a time, siphoning money all the time out of the company. Brilliant. I don't know about the company. As long as it was like a corporate company that's fucking big and you never know who the boss is, that's all right. Nick off them all you like. But if it was a business that, you know, there's a guy who's like going to fucking lose a lot out of it. Well, she took £1 million anyway. So I doubt very much that she'd give any of it back. So she's had a good time. Unfortunately, she's going to have to spend a little time in prison thinking about it. But I think she'd still have a smile on her face if I was her. Especially if she's buried half the money in the garden. Right. I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully you've enjoyed it and I'll do another one. I'll see you again on Monday. See you later. Bye.